Put the mic where your mouth is.
Yes, sir.
All right, man, let's keep it moving. Next topic.
Broadcasting from sea to shining sea, 0400 Across the Street Productions presents the 0400 Across the Street Sports Pod Report. Now, here are your hosts, Derek Little and Jay Taylor. Yes, sir. Today is October the 18th, 2016, and we are back in the booth, ready to go. I know you saw all the big time action this weekend. It was beautiful from the start to the end. What a day. You already know, as usual, we got a great show on tap for you. As always, big time news, big time show. Can't wait. All that and more on tap for you on this podcast. Let's kick it off.
Absolutely glad to be back with
Yes, sir.
It wasn't necessarily beautiful for everybody.
Hey, I think it was.
I know you do. Riding high in here. Your Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off with them.
Right.
The beast of the NFC East. Possibly.
Whoa.
The NFC.
Don't go too far now.
You know, we talked about them coming up into these last 2 weeks.
Right.
They got a bye this week, get a little rest.
Right.
They had Cincinnati, who they dealt with.
Right.
And they went to Lambeau Field.
That they did.
And made Green Bay look really average.
Yeah.
Made Aaron Rodgers look really average.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your boys.
I mean, where do I start? I mean, do we start with the rookies? Ezekiel Elliott, 28 carries, 157 yards. Do we start with, Dak Prescott, another impressive game. I mean, this kid, nothing gets to this kid. And that's the thing that's most impressive. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you were sitting there looking at the game like, you know what? This is the one that they fall back to earth on. But I'm going to tell you what, 18 for 27, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. They always say it's a Dak and dunk offense. They just throwing it around. But guess what? Here's the thing. You saw the throw to Bryce Butler. You saw the throw to Terrence Williams going down the field. They're opening it up just a little bit more. But to me, if a team like Green Bay, because everyone's saying, well, because they just throw it around just a little bit, we're going to load the box with 8. What good is loading the box with 8 when you can't stop the run?
Can't stop the run. Yeah.
And that is the most impressive thing, is that they're taking everyone's 8-man box and they're saying, okay, fine, we're still going to run the ball and we're still going to run it effectively.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I think right now, the way that this team is playing, control of the ball type of offense right now. Their defense isn't having to. And here's the other thing I think a lot of people are forgetting. The Cowboys, out of their 6 games this year, they've received the opening kickoff in all of the games. It gives them a chance to dictate the game from the outset. Right. Because they won the coin toss in 3 of them, right? Elected to take the ball. And then the other 3 that they lost, the other team said, you know what, we'll get it in the second half.
Teams always defer.
And that's what they're counting on. Right. So it sets the tone right from the beginning. Right. They go down against the 49ers. It was a little bit different because they were down 14-0 before you can even look up. Yeah. But they go down. They get the opening drive. The defense comes back on the field, and they just have to hold. They just have to hold because once Dallas gets the ball back, you're talking about running out the first quarter going into the second quarter.
Yeah, you look at that offensive line. This is a run blocking offensive line. Right. They're good in the pass protection. Right. Don't get me wrong. Dak did get a little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure that game. Not much. He was able to slide around in the pocket. Got great ability to slide. Right. Not necessarily running out. He always keeps his eyes downfield, which is good. But this is a run first offensive line. And if you can get them going downhill, it's really tough to stop him. I mean, you're looking at 2 or 3 yards on every play. Absolutely. Unless somebody slips through there, you're looking at 2 or 3 yards on every play.
If not 4.
And if not more. Yeah. And you can ride that all game. Right. But obviously it gives Dak a lot of opportunity to face some smaller set coverages out there, especially if those guys are loading the box up. And gives him the ability to really grow into this offensive system. Absolutely. I like what he's doing. I've told you, I like what Ezekiel's doing. Right. I like what the Cowboys are doing. Right. Can't wait to see Tony Romo back on the field.
Here we go. Okay.
Is he coming back?
Of course he's going to come back. Is he going to come back and start is the question that you want to know.
Is he going to come back and play?
Here's the thing.
I mean, everybody's maintained. Dak himself has maintained. Look, this is Tony's team.
This is Tony's team. And you know what? The political correctness, I get it.
Right.
I totally get that. Here's the thing, though. Dak is running this offense. There are plays that Dak is running that Tony Romo can't play.
Right.
He can't do.
Right.
You know, I'll give you this. We spoke about it yesterday. Yesterday or Sunday, Green Bay ran a double A gap blitz. Okay, straight between the center and the guards on both sides. Came straight up the A gap. The Tony Romo of O sees that. He audibles to it. And because of the injuries and things like that, he's gone straight down to the ground. He'll take the sack. He won't throw the interception or anything like that. Dak saw that. Whether it's inexperience or what, he saw that. Ezekiel picked up one guy that came free, and Dak got the ball out. That was the throw that he made to Jason Witten on the outside. Right. It was just, you see certain things that he's able to do at such a young age. The fact that he's going through his progressions, the fact that he's still in the game. I mean, there's not a point in time that the Cowboys feel as though that this guy has been flustered or anything like that. Even on the interception that he threw to Jason Witten, I think that he thought Jason Witten was supposed to sit down on that button hook. So he threw it where he thought he was going to sit down at, and he didn't. What did he say after the game? Jason made a great play. I messed it up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, but are we being unfair to Tony Romo? Because remember, we're only saying this because Romo's injured.
And Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore. He's the often forgotten guy.
Well, yeah.
He was the number 2 guy.
For obvious reasons. Okay.
Right.
But when Tony's in, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
15-4 of his last 19 games.
last year. He didn't play much last year, but they were 3-1.
Absolutely.
Didn't win any games without him. So the question is, can Dallas, I know Dallas is good right now. Can they be better?
With Tony Romo.
Yes. We know what his body of work is. We know what he can do on the field.
Do you, because right now what you have is you have an offense that is running like a well-oiled machine.
Oh,
you're going to interrupt it.
Right. If anybody knows how you're feeling right now, I do.
Right.
You know,
you're going to interrupt
when
that.
Carolina was going,
right?
We didn't want to mess nothing up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you riding that wave.
You're riding it. And the thing is, you don't want to mess it up. We know Tony Romo will hold on to the ball a little bit more so that guys can clear their routes and get further down the field. We know that. These offensive linemen right now have a chemistry. I mean, you lose Lyle Collins and Ronald Leary comes in, and it's just like he was in the game back in 2014. Yeah. He picks right up. That guy has made himself some money. Let's talk about that. He's going to make himself some real good coin in the offseason. But should the Cowboys go to Tony Romo? Here's the thing, and this is what we're starting to hear. After the game on Sunday, Jerry Jones and them said, you know what? Maybe we won't see Tony Romo until the Cleveland game.
Okay. Nice little tune-up.
Hey, at first it was right after the bye week. Then it was, look, we're going to see him for the Philadelphia game. Now it's the Cleveland game. Sooner or later it's going to come out and say, hey, we're going to wait until the Thanksgiving game. And then after that, it's going to be the Christmas game. And then we're going to see exactly, because he's experiencing some pain while he's sleeping.
Or until Dak starts to do poorly.
Right.
That's the caveat.
That could be. That could be.
I mean, I don't think you do anything with Tony right now.
You can't.
There's some talk of trading him. I don't really think there's any value in trading him right now during the season. You're doing good. You know, it's a tough league. Dak is one hit away from possibly going down himself.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing to have a winning record and have Tony Romo come step in for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But you guys got another guy on the sidelines too who's itching to get back in and could do just as much as Tony Romo does to interrupt some chemistry.
Right.
And that's Dez Bryant.
I'm not saying that he will interrupt any chemistry. But what was very important after he went down, Dak said, I just throw to who's open.
Yeah.
We're going to be fine without Dez while he's injured and so on and so forth. We know this.
That's easy to say when you talking to
everyone was saying that he was just talking. He was just talking.
Easy to say when you're talking to a bunch of second string receivers,
right?
When you're talking about an all world talent like Dez Bryant,
right?
It's not as easy to say to him, "Look, if you ain't open, I'm gonna throw it to you." Because what does Dez think?
He's always open.
Always open,
and he usually is always open.
Number one wide receiver think. Right. I'm always open, so throw it to me.
Right. I mean that's the alpha male wide receiver personality. I mean, even if you got 3 guys on you, he's open. He feels as though that he can make a play on the ball. Unfortunately, Dak is not the type of person that's going to force it. If he doesn't feel comfortable throwing that ball, he's not going to throw it. Okay. As you see with the way that he's playing, he's not forcing anything in any way. I'm not going to say he's playing cautious, but he's playing smart. Well, there are other guys that are coming available doing the routes that he's hitting. You look at Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley half of the time is wide open.
Yeah, for sure.
He shook that one guy out of his shoes in the end zone, and it was like,
no doubt. And mind you, these are a lot of these guys are who Dak has developed that chemistry with. Right. Not being the number one guy initially coming into the season before Romo got hurt. Right. He had already developed this chemistry with all these guys, not a Dez Bryant guy. And Dez has had his injury bug bite him a couple times over the last couple of years as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they slide him back into the lineup, work him back into the lineup, and how Dak responds to having that number one wide receiver over there who is always open by his account.
By his account.
And hopefully he doesn't fall into the trap of forcing it.
Yeah. Hopefully, we didn't see that before. We didn't see him forcing it. I mean, of course, everyone knows about that first game when he was only targeted twice.
Right.
And then the second game,
you were upset about that.
I was upset about it. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember.
Because
why do you make a game plan where you're going to target your number one receiver only
because
twice?
that is Jason Garrett's history. That is his history.
We winning now.
Now we winning. It feels good.
We winning. It feels
good. Look,
I ain't questioning the game plan no more.
Look. Yeah. Dez, it's fine. Heal up. Get ready for the playoffs.
Come on, man. See, there you go.
Nah, but look, you got to give credit to the coaching staff. When Tony Romo went down, Kellen Moore went down, they didn't go out there to try to bring in another guy. They turned it over to Dak, hoping that the stuff that they were seeing in the preseason, that they would be okay with that. And you know what? You got to give them credit. They stayed in-house. They trusted the system. They trusted who they had drafted. They're in a good position.
And the results show. So much props to them. They got a bye week this week.
Absolutely.
And we'll see what happens coming out of that bye week.
Absolutely.
Here we go. And we got on the another NFC team, Washington Redskins and Philadelphia Eagles.
That was a good game.
That was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Washington coming out on top 27-20. You got Matt Jones running all over them boys.
Yeah.
16 carries, 135 yards.
What did we say in the preview to that game? If Washington can find a way to stick to the model of giving the ball to the running back and allowing him to run, not just saying, you know what, we're just gonna sit back and we're gonna try to throw it around. Now, that could be the fact that Jordan Reed wasn't there, and that is Kirk Cousins' favorite guy.
Yep.
But they stuck to the run, and that was the best part of that game plan.
Right. I mean, Kirk Cousins had an okay game.
Right.
All right. I mean, he got a win. So anytime you get a win, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Statistically, it wasn't incredible, but 2 touchdowns and a pick, not horrible.
Right.
All right. But Washington says they're the guys to beat in the East.
Right. Yeah.
That's what they say.
And when you look at it, you say, okay, Philadelphia. Okay, they threw the ball 22 times and they ran the ball 21 times. That's only 43 plays.
Yeah,
43 plays.
Yeah.
Okay, Washington on the other end ended up getting the ball. I wanted to say about 67, almost 70 plays.
Yeah. No, you can't. Yeah,
the possession was definitely in their favor.
They controlled the game.
And you see with the rookie Carson Wentz, he just wasn't able to have an effect on the game. Like everyone had been used to.
Right. So, I mean, it's tough. He's going to have some growing pains.
He's going to have the growing pains.
I mean,
and this week, he's playing against, I want to say it's Minnesota. those growing pains are going to continue.
They're going to continue.
They're going to come after him.
Yeah, Minnesota on bye this week.
Right.
Resting up. I'm sure they were watching the game.
Absolutely.
Prepping, getting ready to go. So that's going to be a tough game for Philly to come out and try to make some headway with.
Absolutely. And
but
then when you
those
look
are
at
lumps
Philly's,
you got to